Usually I read through my notes before I start one of these videos just so I have kind of a clear head on what I'm going to say. But honestly, with these movies, I don't even want to spend any more time with these next two than I have to talking about them because they were both fucking terrible. Alright, let's talk about Children of the Corn 5 Fields of Terror, and I have already watched Isaac's Return as well, so I'll be doing these back to back. But let's stick to this piece of shit first, shall we? Alright, so we have David Carradine, you know, Kill Bill, Bill from Kill Bill. Yeah, he's in this. For whatever reason, I have no idea, because he's underused like a motherfucker. We also have Eva Mendes, who is gorgeous, as everyone knows, and she's in this a fuckload more than I thought she was. We also have Alexis Arquette, you know, George from Wedding Singer. It was also the same year as The Wedding Singer, and he looks drastically different. He looks like a guy, like like he has a goatee and everything, and he's like trying to act like a normal dude. It's really weird. I've never seen him like this before. I have seen this movie before, but it's been a long time. That's why I thought Eva Mendes was in this a lot less than she is. But she's the main character, and she has a lot of screen time. So I was surprised at how much she was in this. Then we have Fred Williamson from, you know, the original Inglourious Basterds in the 70s, and of course from Dusk Till Dawn as well. And then Kane Hodder himself plays a bartender in this movie. So a lot of cool little, you know, known actors popping up in this here and there. So that was really cool. Probably the only thing that was cool in this movie. Now there was a couple things, but man, it's so few and far between. The kids have like full on supernatural powers now. He like picks a guy up in the air like 10, 15 feet while he's talking to him. Like he's got the force, and then he uses the elements of nature to his advantage and uses a fucking lightning bolt to come down from the sky and, you know, rip through the guy and kill him. So this character, these kids in the movies now, they've got godlike powers. And there is one awesome scene of like gore, but for the most part it's all like that off-screen blood spray in the face or blood spray on the wall kind of shit that I hate. It's like, come on, man, show us something. Blood spray on the wall is just the cheapest cop-out in these kinds of movies. We watch this fucking kind of shit to see kills. Come on now. And He Who Walks Behind the Rose, I don't remember it being mentioned in the last film. If it was, I just missed it or whatever. But I didn't remember it being said, so it is said here again. The whole like He Who Walks Behind the Rose thing has never even been clear to me what it is. The devil, I guess, or something like that. So I'm never exactly sure what that means. The guy's car gets blown up, is set on fire, and it kind of blows up or whatever. And the guy's like sitting there like on his knees, like shit, crying, and his friend comes up behind him and he's like, it wasn't that great of a car anyway. What an asshole. Like, you pretty much instantly want the guy to die right there and then. What a cock. And this girl, Eva Mendes' character is wacky in this. She finds out that her almost married, you know, they didn't get engaged, so he wasn't her fiance, I suppose, but they were almost fiancés, as she says, when she finds out that he killed himself from a friend who kept that from them. Kept it from the police, too, clearly. Why she would do that, I have no idea. She didn't want everyone to get hurt, so she hid the note. That doesn't even really play into the movie. It's like a 2-second quick little thing, and it's like, whoa, 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 back it up. That's a big deal. You hid a suicide note? Like, so what, people thought he died of murder? That's like, what? You hit a suicide note? That's a much bigger deal than you're making it anyway. I guess accidental overdose is probably what it was. I don't even know if they say how he killed himself, nor do I give a shit. But she finds out that her almost fiance was killed, and then 2 minutes later, in their time, not in the movie, but in their time, they pull over and they're talking to like these Amish-looking kids, farmhand kids, and she's like making eyes at the one goofy kid at the back, and you're like, didn't you just find out that your almost fiance committed suicide and you were crying 2 seconds ago, and now you're trying to hit on fucking, old McDonald's kid right now? Like, I don't understand. And then fucking an hour later, they break into a house like it's no big deal. Even a cop comes back and finds them there, and they're like, sorry, we just couldn't find another place to stay. And it's like, that's breaking and entering. He doesn't even take them to jail, and then he tells them to leave, and when he comes back, one of them's still hanging out at the house, and she's like, sorry, we couldn't leave, and he does nothing about it. Okay, he found them breaking and entering twice, and he does nothing about it. But anyway, let's get back to this fucking house that they break into. She's upstairs with this guy, and he goes to try to leave the room. This is within an hour, and then she fucks him. And then he wakes up in the morning and she's like, oh, this wasn't just a one-night stand to me. And she's like, well, it was a one-night stand to me. And she like walks away and then goes and hits on the fucking farmer kid again, like 2 seconds later. I'm not saying that this is a plot hole or anything like that. I'm just saying that her character is a total fucking piece of shit. And it was one of the things that was actually keeping me entertained throughout the movie. I also like that Fred Williamson's character, the sheriff or whatever he is, finds mutilated bodies, and they actually have a scene where he has like a Ziploc bag that he opens up and pours into the body bag that's already kind of filled with parts from other people. So they don't even know whose is what, and he's just pouring it into the body bag. I thought that was really funny. You don't really see that all that much. And oh God, I was just talking about this in one of the groups that I'm in, Killer Flicks. One of the most overused cliche jokes in the history of cinema that constantly gets used is the whole, you're never, ever, ever going to get me to go here, or I'm never, ever going to do that. Hard cut to them doing that or going there. And then when it happened in this movie, I haven't had a chance to talk about it because I don't think it's happened in any of the movies that I've reviewed on here. But oh my God, it is so annoying every time you're just like, here we go, womp womp. I always feel like I'm just gonna hear the fucking like little, oh God, it's so dumb. Why? Like every time I'm in the theater, that shit comes and I'm like, here we go, and he's gonna be doing it, and everyone in the theater is like, and you're like, really, you're fucking laughing? Oh, Jesus Christ. Anyway, I shouldn't be down on people for enjoying themselves, but I don't know why that annoys me so much. So many things annoy me. More than I ever thought until I started this channel. I started bitching about things. And the one night stand drama that she has with the dude after he has sex with her and he's like, this is the one night stand. It's so shoehorn drama. It is just like, we need a dramatic scene here, so let's have this. And Eva Mendes is actually pretty good in this. She gives a couple crying moments. They're for nothing. Like, they're total bullshit because her character doesn't play off those emotions almost at all. Or she just hides her emotions by fucking people, which is totally possible as well. But she actually gives some decent crying performances. The director has no idea how to frame those shots in order to actually get any kind of depth or emotion out of her. But it does show that she has the range. She's not the best actress in the world. We know that from watching Ghost Rider and other films. But she's got talent enough, and you can tell that she was going to at least have some success while watching this, outside of just being beautiful. And the best scene in this movie by far for me was, David Carradine's character. He is talking to the sheriff, and his head just splits open, and there's this little, I don't even know what the hell it is. It's just like a little rock-looking thing, but I don't know if it was like a mini head or whatever. But then flames shoot out, like his head just bursts open, like straight down the middle, comes apart, and then flames shoot out of whatever is here in his neck, and it melts all of the sheriff's face off, which I've talked about in like the last couple movies now. I feel like I've talked about face melting scenes like in a few films in a row now, which is awesome because I love them. But I guess that's just kind of a staple at this point in this series. But then he like falls to the ground and his whole body is like just decimated. Like his legs, everything are just like sunk to the ground. I don't know why flames in his face would melt his whole body away, but I don't know. I was so bored. I was so on autopilot watching the movie, just taking notes, being like, this is fucking stupid. This is lame. This is fucking funny to talk about if I spin it like this. Whatever. I was just kind of just sitting there like, and then it was like, what the fuck is happening? It was great, man. That came out of nowhere, and I loved it. And Eva Mendes' character just, she gives into the cult mentality, and she is all of a sudden like, I want to do this before I become, an adult. Like she says, to the age of sin or whatever. And in the original movie, it's 19. And Eva Mendes is clearly older than 19 in this film. Otherwise, I need to check myself in to some kind of clinic or something. Because, yeah, she was definitely not under the age in this movie. And then she just jumps into a fire in a silo. I don't even know what the fuck was going on in this movie, and I don't know what the fuck was going on in the next movie. I couldn't tell you. I just watched both of them, and if you were to tell me, like, ask me a synopsis of the film, I could give you, like, a really basic, generalized, like, kids are trapped in a town, their car breaks down, they, have to hang out, and then there's a guy, he has, like, a compound where he keeps the kids, and I guess he's running the place, but then his head splits open, and then it's the other kids taking over, and then they're jumping into a silo for some reason. I don't fucking know what's going on in this movie. Jesus Christ. I'm either really stupid or this movie is. I'm willing to admit either. And then this girl, the main girl, is getting attacked by a chainsaw, and she just sits there, and just like the guy's bringing it down really slowly, and she's just sitting there. She's sitting there like this. And he comes down, he's just bringing it down. She's like, and she's not like scared like this or anything. She's just sitting there like this. And he just like finally just like touches her arm. And then she decides to be like, and like runs away. And it's like, what the fuck was that scene? It's so weird. Why? If you get a chance, I wish I would have written down the time so you wouldn't have to sit through the movie to see it. But it's weird. I want to give you like the quips, like, okay, check out this, the head splitting scene, the chainsaw arm thing, and then skip the rest of the movie because it's all fucking stupid. There is a scene though in the movie which the scene's pretty stupid. In fact, it has like a last moment line, like the smile for me, you son of a bitch kind of line where you say something right before you defeat the bad guy and or sacrifice yourself to do something. I can't even remember what the line is. Like, it doesn't matter. Alexis Arquette does it. But he's trapped under the car, and there's guys on either side of him trying to get at him, and he's sitting under a car that's like almost pinned on top of him. And I was like, you're fucked in that situation. Like, there's a guy here, and he has like knives and a scythe maybe, and the other one does too, and they're just like hacking at him from the side. He's fucked. I mean, he could try to like scoot his way out the front, but by the time he got there, these guys could just run around and get him. So it was a terrifying situation in my head. The way that they were doing it in the movie, it had no pace, it had no flow, it had no nothing, so I wasn't feeling any kind of tension. But looking at the scene, being like, wow, that would be a fucked situation. You would be so screwed. So that, as I said, I like the situation, but it doesn't make sense. And then I love when the girl goes up and she's fighting the main kid on top of the silo at the end. And she finally bests him by somehow she pulls a hook out that has a handle. So the handle's this way, the hook's this way. So in order for it to lay on the ground, it would either have to lay sideways on the handle where the hook was, or you prop it up here and then the hook would be up like this. It's somehow on the ground, and she pulls it out from her back. She's laying completely flat against it, mind you. And she pulls it out like this, and that's how she like gets the better of him and throws him over. How she's laying on that is impossible. I'm sorry. The way that the thing is designed, I was looking at it, I was like, no, there's no way. I know I fucking point out the most trivial, stupid things, but it was like, no, you could not lay on top of that flat. That is stupid. And then she fucking throws him into the silo, which has this constant burning flame. I guess it's like the eternal hellfire or whatever. But she throws him in there, and the silo is 20 feet tall at best. And he fucking goes, he's like, for like 3 full fucking seconds, you hear him go, and then you finally hear him hit, and it's like, poof. It's so funny. It's like he would have had to drop for over 100 feet, 200 feet for him to be able to echo for that long. It was so funny because the thing's like this tall, and he's just like, ah. I laughed about it. All right, I went on too long about that. And then at the very end, the kid, the little baby, has fire burning in its eyes. So dumb. It was like the fuck you. It was like the you just sat through this movie, you're still sitting here. It was almost punishment for finishing the movie. Like, what did you think was gonna happen? Did you think we were gonna give you a good ending? Did you think that was just gonna be like, oh, here's the saving grace. You sat through the whole thing, so here's your fucking, golden ticket. Good job. You get Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. No, you don't get shit. You get a wrapper filled with fucking diarrhea. That's what you get. You don't get no fucking chocolate. God, that baby eye burning thing at the end, and then it like blacks out the face, and like for the credit scenes with all the black and the fire still burning in the eye shape. Fuck that. That was so stupid. What a dumb decision. I don't like to harp on movies much, but it seems like I'm always having a good time. So maybe I like ripping on movies more than I say that I do. I don't know. All right, let's talk about Children of the Corn 6. Let's get to that. I'm on a roll.